First thing you got to do in this business, one of the first things you got to do in this business is figure out your gut gauge. Have I got the guts for this business? Okay, easy enough. Would I go knock on a FSBO door? Would I call a FSBO? A while ago, we were talking about all these closed techniques. Will I ever get that far? Will I ever get that far? Okay, to know them. You know why? Here's how you get the gut gauge. Let's say right now, if I took anybody in here, even the best ones, and I said, the best one might be about a 6 on the gut gauge of going and talking to a FSBO. The best one in here, right? Now, if I had a plan and I had a dialogue and I knew what I was going to say, they said this, I say that, so forth. If I knew all that, would the gut gauge go up? See, that's how important the education part of it is. Gut gauge, for some people in here, Harry, gut gauge is, gut gauge is right here for just about everything right now. And guess what? He's making a lot of money. He met me at the gym. He didn't know how to say hello. Seriously. He didn't know how to say hello. And he's making a lot of money. And it's most all of it is in the dialogues that you use and the plan you have to use the dialogues. Remember what I said a while ago? They were doing that little role play and everything started with hi. You don't start a business call with hi. All right? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. One or the other. All right? What the other word we used a while ago was good? Purpose. Good evening, Mr. So-and-so. My name is so-and-so from Culture of State. The purpose of my call this evening, I say that you're selling your home yourself, so forth, so on. But you learn to use some words, you learn to eliminate other words. You learn to eliminate other. I love the word like. Most everybody likes the word like. They say it about 19 times a sentence, some of them. And you know why people say like?
It's a filler.
It's a filler. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to say, so they'll say like. Okay? All right? And there's a few others, but we won't get into them. So, what we're going to talk about today, one thing briefly that came up in the thing we were doing a while ago, and Scott's over here, and I asked Scott, tell me about the different styles of houses. And he named one, and he knew no other. All right? You can learn this right up here. You can learn this right here. Get on the internet. And there's no dialogue to it or anything else. Get on the internet. Name me a style of house besides Cape. Somebody, Colonial. Give me another one. Ranch. Give me another one. Tudor. Give me another one. Victorian. Bungalow. Bi-level. You can go on and on, right?
Yes.
Now, if you get on the internet and study a little bit, you can learn some things that make people think, damn, she's smart. You know, do you know why we have? I'll give you, for example, same example John used a while ago. We were talking. Why did they start building center hall colonials?
Why did they start building what?
Why did they start building center hall colonials? Anybody know? Scott knows. John knows. Okay. You know why?
To warm up the sides of the house?
It has to do with heating of the house, yeah. They had to heat them with fireplaces or stoves, so I can leave the center hall cold and I can close off this room and heat that room with a stove and this room with a stove and put transits in the ceilings and let the heat get upstairs in those rooms over it and so forth. Now you can talk about that to somebody that's got a colonial house and they'll think you're a genius. All right, easy enough? That sort of stuff. Okay, what's the advantages of split level home? More house on a smaller lot because you're stacking it. Easy enough? Those kind of things. Get on the internet and learn something. That's all you got to do. Get on the internet and learn something and put yourself together a plan to talk about houses. That's not that hard. All right, folks, here we go. Gut gauge is going to be on FSBOs starting today. All right? Okay, FSBOs. What is a FSBO? A FSBO is somebody that's trying to sell their house themselves. Why are they trying to sell the house themselves?
Save money.
To save the commission, absolutely. That's the one and only reason. If they couldn't think they could save money doing it themselves, they wouldn't even try. They wouldn't even try. Why should I try to do something I don't know how to do when I can let somebody else do it? All right, so here we go. We're going to refer this to FSBOs from now on. And if you notice right there in the first paragraph, it says a plan must include a well-organized contact management system and a system for face-to-face contact with FSBOs. Tell you a little bit about how they used to do that. Tell you how I used to do that. A lot of people I know that made a lot of money used to do that. They carry, and you know, now we all got phones and we can do this on the phone and that on the phone and so forth. They carried a spiral notebook on the front seat of their car. Right? They rode by the house down the street. And the first time they wrote down the name, if they could get it, they wrote down the address. They wrote down the date of their first contact. Talk to these people on such and such, not going to do anything right now. Blah, 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 and you make a few notes about it. I see another one, that's the next. I give a whole page to each one of them. And people do it that way. And you know one reason why they do it that way still, some of them do? Because it's right there. It's in there, it's in there. I got to go look for it. This way, it's right here. There it is. There it is. There's FSBO assistance materials. There's things, handouts that I don't know how many he has, but there's handouts that have to do with how to sell your house, how to get your house ready to sell, and that sort of stuff. So you go up and knock on the door, you have a business card in your hand, and you have a FSBO assistance something in your hand. All right? But you gotta make a plan. They're not going to list with you first day unless they're in stage 4 FSBOism. Now we're going to talk about the stages of FSBOism. Easy enough? That's my word. FSBOism, ISM. FSBOISM. FSBOism. All right? Why does the FSBO want a FSBO? Okay. What's the source of listing? First thing it's good, you know, first good thing about a FSBO? They want to sell their house. They want to sell their house. That's the first good thing about them. They're going to sell it if they can. What else about them? And guess what? They want to get as much money as they can for it. And they've already figured out if I can sell this thing myself, let's see, $300,000, 6%, that's I've saved $18,000. They've already figured that out. So they think. All right? What's the next one say? It says they usually have a time frame, and this is really important. They usually have a time frame. If this thing's not sold in 30 days, I'm going to give it to a realtor. Or it's not sold in 60 days, I'm going to give it to a realtor. Blah, blah, blah. Who are they going to give it to? The guy that, one of two people. They're going to give it to the person that's contacted them and kept in contact with them from the beginning. Or they're going to give it to that last guy that walks up and knocks on the door when I've had enough of this stuff, I'm listing. Bang. Oh, here's a guy, I'll list with him. All right? So the deal here is if you're going to try to get listings, and that's the only way you're employed in this business, by the way. When you're working with buyers, you're not employed. They can do anything they want to, anytime they want to. When you have a listing, that's your listing, and they can't do anything until that listing time's up. So, if I were going to chase FSBOs, if I were going to be a listing agent, which to me that's all I would be if I were an agent. That's all I would be. I do not like to put people in the car and ride around all weekend. All right? That's no, as my son used to say when he was little, that's none fun. Okay? Pat said that's none fun, Daddy. Okay. All right. So if you're going to pursue FSBOs, you got to have a plan. It involves multiple contacts with the homeowner. You see that in another paragraph down there? Okay, so while trying to sell their own home, the FSBO goes through 3 stages of thinking. And for a lack of a better term, we'll call it FSBOism. Okay, so anytime you talk to one, you should classify them in one of the 3 stages, these early stages of FSBOism. All right? You go up, knock, knock. They come to the door, they say, you a real estate agent? Yes, I am. Bang. What stage of FSBOism are they in? 1. Stage 1 FSBOs. What's it say down there? The owner usually refuses to talk to agents. I used to tell everybody when you go in the summertime and you knock on the door and they talk to you through the screen door, you haven't got much of a shot. Okay? Easy enough? So stage 1 FSBOism. What do you do with a stage 1 FSBO? What do you do with stage 1 FSBO? They're not going to cooperate with realtors. Have you ever seen a FSBO sign that said, for sale by owner, no agents? You never saw that? You used to see that a lot. For sale by agent, no agents. Or for sale by owner, no agents. The other company I work for...
Only.
Huh?
I've seen one, principals only.
Yeah. If you saw one that said no agents, we used to teach it in the other company I work for. Well, I just talked to my manager and he said I was as close to no agent as he had. So he sent me over here. I just talked to my manager. He said I was as close to no agent as he had. So here I am. All right? Bottom of the first page. They won't usually let you in. They won't usually talk to you. All right? So I know they're stage one. What am I going to do with a stage one? I got my little spiral notebook. What am I going to do with a stage one?
Let them faster.
Email.
Huh?
Leave them alone, let them faster.
Absolutely. I'm going to wait till they get to stage two. Easy enough. But I'm going to write down in my little spiral notebook. Talk to so and so today, dated stage one. That's all I got to put. I know what he is. He's a stage one. He's going to sell it himself. And then I'm going to wait for him to become a stage two. And like I said, what do we say? Most of them have a time frame. They really do. Most of them have a time frame. So look on page 2. Okay? If they're nearing stage 2, in the second stage, the owner, they're still going to sell on their own. They're going to sell on their own, but they'll talk to you. They're starting to find out that this ain't, hey, I thought I was going to put a sign up on this thing and run a few ads in the paper, and spend a couple $100 and have my house sold. Whoa, ain't working that way. I haven't had anybody look at my house. Okay, so they're in stage 2. So when they get to stage 2, if you knock on their door, or you call them, I always like to knock on the door. Call them, they can get rid of you too quick. Hang up on you real quick. Knock on the door, you got a business card in your hand and a little assistance material of some kind. Okay, they're in stage 2. They'll talk to you. They'll talk to you. What will they say? Well, usually you're going to do something, say, I tell you, I can help you get your home sold. Will that get their ears up a little bit? They haven't been able to sell it for a month. They've had no results at all. And I say something like, well, I can help you get your home sold. You're not mentioning commission or signing a listing agreement or anything. I can help you get your home sold. What are they going to say back to you? How? Every time. How can you help me? How can you help me? Well, how can you help them? Oh, well, if you let me see your house, I might be able to show you some things you can do to make buyers more interested in your house. How does that sound to you? You want to make your house more appealing to buyers? Oh, yeah, sure. Well, let me see your house. Now I'm in. Make sense? Mm-hmm. If this doesn't make sense, if I tell you something and you say, this will never work, just tell me. Then I can counter that and we can go on. But just tell me that. If nothing will ever work, you just tell me. If I can show you how you might get a little more money for your house, will you let me look at your house? What was the key in there?
Money.
More money. If you don't know anything else to talk about more money. Are any of you all interested in money?
Absolutely.
Nobody's interested in money. You're just here for the fun, right? Just here for the fun of it. No. Okay. During the latter part of stage 2, they might even call you. All right? The key is find a FSBO that'll talk to you because they're in stage 2 when they start talking to you. All right? But what you want to really get while you're talking to them, you want to really start to plant seeds of doubt in their mind. Whether they can really do this or not. Okay? So, they're ready. Then you get to the third stage. Well, hey, usually they've reached a state of desperation. I want to tell you something. If it's a couple, nearly always the first one to reach a stage of desperation is who? No. The wife. Because they're sick of doing the dishes and making the beds and cleaning the house, and somebody's going to be here at 3 o'clock and blah, 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 blah. What the hell are we doing trying to do this? John, we can't do this.
Yeah, right.
Right? So that's the way it goes. The first one is always the woman. The woman gets tired of it. He wants to save the commission. She don't want to make the bed. It's that simple. All right? Easy enough. And there's a book called Make Your Bed, by the way. Did you ever? If y'all want to, no, I'm serious. If y'all want to go out,
Be successful.
If you want to start to live things a successful way, go to a bookstore and buy a little book called Make Your Bed. It's 100 pages long. Greatest. You'll read it more than once or twice or 3 times. What's the first thing you do in the morning if you really got a plan? Make your bed. How many of you in here make your bed first thing in the morning? All right, oh my God, look at this. Paul, you make your bed first thing in the morning? Wow. I'm telling you. How many of you never make your bed? How many of you never make your bed? Right? But the name of the book's Make Your Bed. Make a note of it if you want to. The little book that's fun to read. It's only 100 pages long. Doesn't take long to read it. Okay, let's start by developing a system for tracking FSBOs. Where do you find them? Well, you find them from signs. Easy enough. You ride by, you see signs. Where else you find them? They advertise, right? Sometimes, right? There's email ways to find them. Is that correct? Internet site. And there's people just talk to people. People talk to people. If I were in this business, we've talked about this before, but I would let as many people know as I possibly could that I was in the business. Like I told you, I'd wear that name tag on my pajamas. Right? Every time you talk to somebody, they'll talk to you. Oh, are you in real estate? And you say, yeah. They'll talk to you about how's the market. You ever had somebody say, how's the market? Oh, how's interest? What's interest rates right now? Blah, blah, blah. They'll talk to you about real estate. You know why? Because for most people that own a home, the biggest investment they have in their whole entire life is that house. Is that house. Right? You ever imagine what happened if your house burnt down and you didn't have any insurance? Think about that. Okay, so should you track all the FSBOs? Well, as it says at the bottom of the page, to answer the question. If I were new in this business, I'd track every one I could find because all I'm looking for is listings. I told you, first year I was in the real estate business, I kept looking for listings at the racetrack. I couldn't find any there. Right? But if I could find some listings, and I had listings, I could go to the racetrack because somebody else could be selling those houses that I got listed. If I were in this business, I would be a listing agent, period. You'd learn what you want to do. Track only those at the bottom of page 2. They're very saleable, and that's important. You got a $400,000, $300,000 house, and the guy's trying to sell it himself, and he wants $400,000 for it. Guess what? There's a reason for that. And he wants to save the commission. Guess what? There's probably no payday in there for you. Okay? Before making a decision on whether to track a FSBO or not, do a windshield appraisal. You know what a windshield appraisal is? You know what a windshield appraisal is? John knows what a windshield appraisal is. You ride by, and you ask one question to yourself, is this worth my time? Is this worth my time? Easy enough? So there we go. All right, once you've made a decision to track a FSBO, have a contact management system. We just talked about that. Okay, you can make it by telephone to initial contact or knocking on the homeowner's door. Man, like I said, most agents call first. You know why most agents call first? Right here. Right there. I might pick up the phone and call them, but I don't think I can get face to face with one. But I'll pick up the phone and call them. If they don't like me, they'll just hang up the phone. It'll be all right. And you'll be just as poor afterwards as you were before. Easy enough? Well, I love that thing you said, well, I'm going to take the C off of clothes, you know. I like that one. All right, so here we go. All right, your only goal when calling FSBO, if you call them, or if you, is to get an appointment to see the house. I got to get into the house. What did we say a while ago? If I could show you how you might get a few more dollars if you let me see the house, I know what buyers you're looking for, et cetera, et cetera. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Easy enough? I got to see the house. So let's do the telephone dialogue just for kicks. Ring, ring. They say hello. You say, is this the owner of the property for sale at such and such? And there's a dozen ways to do this. This is just one example. Is this the homeowner? I want to be talking to the homeowner, so my first question is I'm not even going to tell them who I am. I'm going to say, is this the homeowner? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay? All right, is this the homeowner? What am I going to say? Yeah, it is. Okay, and then they say, is your home still for sale? Is this the homeowner? Yes, it is. Is your home still for sale? Right? Yes, it is. Now what are you going to do? Uh-oh. Now what am I going to do? I got to have a plan. I got no plan when he says his house is still for sale. What the hell am I going to do now? All right? What am I going to do now? Well, yes it is. At this point, the agent should identify themselves, continue with the following dialogue. My name is so-and-so from Culture Estates. What's it say right down there? I would like to make an appointment to see your home. And then you can put it, could I come by today, or you could do it the way he did it before, or what days are not good for you. You can do it. You can do it either way. Hey, Paul, is Paul back there? Or Peter back there? Huh? Peter's not back there yet? Huh? He's here? Okay. Okay. My good friend is a building contractor, and he's looking for lots to build houses on. Okay. So, my name is so-and-so from Culture Estates, and I'd like to make an appointment to see your home. Could I? And just close with it. Just close with it. What are they going to say? We're not working with, for stage 1, they're going to say we're not working with agents. You're going to say, fine, thank you very much. Would you mind if I gave you a call from time to time? Blah, blah, blah. They're in stage 1. You can't get in the door. We're not talking to you. We're going to sell it ourselves. You think I'm going to pay you $20,000 to sell my house? You're out of your mind. All right? So where do we go with that? If the FSBO's in stage 1, they're not going to get in the house. You're not. If they're in stage 2 or 3, then you probably are going to get in the house. Then we're going to say we're not working with realtors in stage 1. Okay, look at page 4. All right. Since you don't know this, before you pick up the phone to make the call or you knock on the door, do you know their stage of FSBOism? No, I have no idea. But I got to have a plan for stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3. But I don't know right now. You know, if it's like guys ask a girl for a date, do I know whether she'll go out with me or not? No, but I got a plan. All right? All right. We're not working with realtors. For stage 1, we're not working with realtors. No problem. I'd like to see your home. You're always trying to get in the home. Well, they'll probably say to you, would you? Well, why do you want to see my home? We're not working with realtors. What should you say?
Have a couple buyers.
Oh, you have a buyer for me?
Yes.
Bring them by. I might give you a commission.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't do that.
Well, I have a couple buyers. Would you be interested in doing the 2.5%?
That's in stage 2 or stage 3. That's way down the line, right? You got buyers working in my area?
Yes, I do.
Is that right? Bring them by. Maybe I can sell my house.
Are you interested in working with realtors?
I just told you, no, I'm not in stage 1. I'm not working with realtors. Okay, what did we say? Yeah.
So for that, why can't you say, well, in order for me to bring my client by, can I check out your house first? Because I am.
Maybe, yeah, but see, that's for your benefit. I want it for their benefit. See, I want it for the seller's benefit. If I could show you how you might get a few more dollars from things, I know what buyers are looking for. And I might be able to show you some things you can do to your house to get it more saleable, get you a few more dollars for it. You'd be interested in letting me see the house? Follow? That's from whose benefit? The seller's benefit. What you were saying was, if I got a buyer, that's for your benefit to begin with, right? Got to be a benefit. And it's a little. I know what you're thinking. Okay, I know what you're thinking. But here's the key. Here's the key. They got to see a benefit. They got to be a benefit. Remember when back in the first class we ever did here where I said SBC? You remember those? Remember that? Service, benefit, close. Remember that? This is what we sell here. We don't sell houses. We sell services. You sell them a service. You explain how they'll benefit from it. And then you use a closing technique to follow it up. Service, benefit, close. That one's a perfect example. If you let me see your house, I know what buyers are looking for. The benefit to you is we might find we'll be able to get you a little more money for your house. That's the service benefit. Close. You want to get more money for your house? That's the close. Well, they're always interested in more money. I've never found anybody yet that's not interested in more money. All right? So where are we going with that? Looking on page 2. Stage 2 response. It's on page 4. We'll let you see the house, but we're not listing. See, there's just early on in stage 2. We're not listing. What are you going to say? What was your goal when you went there?
Listing.
To get in the house. Your first goal was to get in the house. So you say something like this, no problem. I'd just like to see a house. Could I see it today at 3 o'clock? Could I see it right now? If you're knocking on doors, that sort of thing. All you're trying to do is get in the house to start with. And this class goes on and on. We're going to explain how to talk them out of selling it themselves once we get face to face with them. Okay? Okay. Okay, in stage 2, the FSBO will often ask the following question. You got a buyer for my house? Oh, I got a couple buyers. What'd you say? You have a buyer for my house?
Yes, we do.
Yes, you do. Oh, great. Bring them over.
When are you available?
No, you wouldn't do that.
No?
You wouldn't do that. How are you going to get paid?
I have a couple buyers. Are you interested in seeing how I can get more money for your house?
Okay. How are you going to do that?
Let me go in the house, check it out, see what we could do, because I know what buyers are looking for.
And if you got a couple buyers, you could use it this way. I've got a couple buyers I'm working with. I know what they're looking for. You can do it that way. Follow? Got to be able to track these things now. All right? If I said as a seller, I said, you got a buyer for my house? Right there, it's a good response. Do you have a buyer for my house? What's the agent say? I work with a lot of buyers. I don't know if I have a buyer. It's right there, right? I work with a lot of buyers. I don't know if I have a buyer because I haven't seen your house yet. Easy enough? Follow? This just takes a lot of role play and a lot of practice. And we're going to role play a lot of it next week, not much today. All right, so let's say that they're past stage 2. You know, they're not telling you we're not listing. They're all the way to stage 3. Where are we in stage 3? Hey, yeah, can I see your house? Yeah, sure, come on over. All right, I'll be there in 15 minutes or however you work it out. It doesn't matter. All right. When the bottom of page 4, this is very carefully. When you get into a home of a FSBO, you got to have a plan for touring the house. You got to have a plan for touring the house. And this is where you start to look at this as a job interview. It's not you looking at their house, it's them interviewing you. Follow? Remember a while ago I said, I asked Scott, I said, tell me about a style of house. And he knew one. Next week he's going to know them all. You know? Next week he'll know them all. Right? Rocco, tell me about different styles of houses. Real quick.
There's a bunch of different styles.
There's a bunch?
Yes.
All right, tell me about them. Watch. Come on. I'm trying to show them how smart you've gotten since you put on a suit.
You got colonial, you got Tudor, you got ranch, you got split level.
Okay. Why do we have split level houses?
I don't know the answer.
We have split level houses because they can be built on smaller lots. You're stacking the space. Easy enough?
Yeah,
Did you know that? You didn't know that, did you? Son of a gun. Why do we have center hall colonials? I'm getting these guys are wearing suits and ties and running around talking to people, right? Why do we have center hall colonials? You don't know? In the old days, before they had heating systems as we have now, the rooms were heated with a fireplace or a stove, and I could block off this room over here and heat this one, and this one over here and heat this one. Wouldn't have to heat the hall. So forth. Well, you know that, did you? So when you walk in a center hall colonial, gosh, nice house. You know why they started having center hall colonials? And you can talk about something. All right, here. And I just gave them this assignment. Get on the internet and find out all the different styles of houses you can find and learn about each one of them and be able to talk about them a little bit. Okay? All right, where were we before I got sidetracked there? Okay, when you get into the home of FSBO, you must have a plan for touring the house. You got to build rapport. First of all, you got to build rapport. You walk in, and I say, I don't like this person. Right off the top of my head. What the hell did I let him in here for, or her in here for? Right? So guess what? Rocco had an open house. Just to change the subject again, Rocco had an open house once. And they asked him what he was doing there, if he was the owner's son, because he looked like he was 15 years old. And then he went out and he bought a suit, and he bought a shirt, and he bought a tie.
And he turned 21.
And he got to be 21 or 22 just in 15 or 20 minutes. So you never go on an appointment looking like crap. Easy. This is as much as some people don't think so, this is a professional business. We're professional people. And guess what? We work hard. And when we get to the point where we know what we're doing, we really work hard. What else? What else you got to do while you're in there? What do we talk about? You got to check their motivation. This is another answer to that last part of page 4. You're going to build rapport. You're going to check their motivation. You know?
Do you have any more packets?
No, I don't. She may have some out front because I ran 10 of them off and that's all I had. Check their motivation. How do you check people's motivation? You're walking in the seller's house, a FSBO, seller's house. How do you check the motivation?
How the house looks.
Huh?
How the house looks.
No, not really. Motivation usually has to do with time.
How quickly are you looking to sell?
Huh?
How quickly are you looking
There you
to
go, bingo. Motivation, you can usually judge motivation by talking about time. When would you like to be out of here?
sell? Not in a rush.
Not in a rush? Okay. All right, you're not in a rush, but would you get in a rush if we could get you more money now than trying to sell it later? You want to get more money for your house?
Yes.
Why did I change that? Why did I change the track? Not in a rush. I want her to get in a rush. I want her to get in a rush. And guess what? The easiest way to get in a rush is talk about money. Talk about money? Absolutely. The easiest way. What else? So we're going to build rapport. We're going to check the motivation. And we're going to determine the stage of FSBOism while we're there. If they talk to you a lot and ask you a lot of questions and so forth, they're probably at stage 3. If they just let you see the house and barely have anything to sell, to say, they're probably in stage 2. If they won't let you in the front door, they're in stage 1. Easy enough? So those 3 things, and they're not on here, but so write them down. What am I going to do? I'm going to build rapport. I'm going to get them to like me. I'm going to get them to like me some way or other. You know, the easiest way to get somebody to like you is an intelligent conversation and a smile on your face. Right? Right, Sophie? Sophie's the smiling one, I tell you. She said, every time I see her, here she. Yeah? All right? You're going to check their motivation, and you're going to determine the stage of FSBOism. And we're going to page 5. Okay, another way to contact a FSBO is to knock, knock. Knock on the door without an appointment. What do you got to have with you? Don't ever go talk to anybody without a business card in your hand. Don't ever get up in the morning and walk out of the house without business cards in your pocket. Remember I told you the story about you carry 10 with you every day? At the end of the day, you should get rid of most of them. If you got any left, roll down the car window and throw them out in the street. Somebody might pick it up. I told you the story about every time I paid a bill, I'd always put a business card in there. Paid a bill, went to a company in Indiana, and guess what? I listed the guy's brother's house in Fanwood. Okay, where we go from there? All right. Be sure to have a business card. And then this is the important thing. You got to have a plan for converting the homeowner depending on what stage of FSBOism you encounter. You don't know what stage they're in, but you got to have a plan to talk to them depending on their stage of FSBOism. If, like I said, if they're stage 2, they're not going to talk to you much. So your plan's got to be, I got to get back in here again. If they're in stage 3, they're going to talk to you. And they might still be going to try it a while on their own, you know, and they're looking for some help. You know, you're going to help me. This guy's come in here, maybe he can help me. All right, so when using this approach, your goals are, what's it say right there? See the house. Bond with the homeowner. Determine the stage of FSBOism. You see that? That's what you're doing while you're in there. Got to have a plan. All right. Use the following plan when contacting FSBO on a face-to-face basis. Start by dressing professionally. We just did that. Wear a name tag, have a business card. Knock, knock. Hello. Hello, my name is so-and-so. Identify yourself immediately. You are not trying to fool anybody. Some people go in. I've heard people say, yeah, we go in. Don't tell them you're a real estate agent. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right? You are what you are, and you are there for a purpose. My name is so-and-so from Culture State. All right? Got my name tag right here. Here's my business card. You know who I am. And you probably, and you know, you don't say it to them, but you probably know why I'm here. All right? All right. I saw your sign or your ad, and if possible, I'd just like to see your house. May I come in? What are we trying to do here? Get in the house. Get in the house. Easy enough? So where are we going with that? Or my name is so-and-so from Culture State. I'm our office real estate, that should say specialist for the neighborhood. Left a word out there. I'm our office real estate specialist for the neighborhood. You can try something like that. John said something about that in the thing he was doing a little earlier. Okay? Anything. You can use any introductory order, any introductory dialogue you want, but the goal is to get in the house. All right? How are you going to be received by the homeowner when you get in the house? You don't know. I don't know. Unless I know I'm able to determine the what? Stage of Physicalism. All right? If they're stage 1, you knocked on the door, they're stage 1. You're standing on the front porch and you try to get in the house and they say, we're not working with realtors. And they don't let you in. Guess what? Stage 1. Make a note. I got to come back in 3 weeks or a month. Whatever. No problem. I just like to see your house. I'd also like to give you some companies, and I hope he develops something like this, has something like this, some kind of a handout. Some kind of a handout to give FSBOs that in a sort of not a direct way, but here, this might help you sell your house. And it's how to get your house ready to sell and different stuff like things on it. I think he's got something like that, but if I were doing these FSBO chasing, I would have that stuff in my car. Always. All right. Somewhere in there right away, if I can't get in the door, I'm going to say, I'm sure you'd like to get as much money as possible for your home, wouldn't you? What are they going to say? What are they going to say? I'm sure you want to get as much money as possible for your home. What are they going to say? You know darn well what they're going to say. Yes, of course. Okay. Will it get in your house? Well, maybe. Leave, make a note to call them back in a week or so. Put that info into your FSBO notebook. So there's stage 2. Oh yeah, you can see the house, but we're not listing. All right, now, back up a little bit. What did we say once you get in the house? What do you try to do? Bond. Build a little rapport. What else you trying to do? Huh? Check their motivation. What else you trying to do? The FSBO, stage of FSBOism. Absolutely, positively. So, they're in stage 2. All right, and look at the bottom of page 6. We're searching for common ground to build rapport. Man, common ground to build rapport. You know, if I walked into somebody, I'll give you a classic, great example of this. I walked into a FSBO one time, and the guy's basement was full of sports stuff. You know, I know a little something about some sports. All right, and all of a sudden I looked on the wall, and there's a picture of this guy's honest true story. A picture of a little league baseball team. And I'm looking at my son in this picture. Honest to God, there's Patrick in this picture. And I said, your son played Little League? He says, yeah, he did. He played on such and such. I said, that's my son. Well, 30, 40 minutes, we talked baseball for at least a half hour. Okay, guess what? Little bonding there. Unfortunately, he was able to sell it on his own, but nevertheless, okay? Make small talk. This one's real. Demonstrate your knowledge of real estate. Hey, Scott, how many kinds of houses are there? Mine's a Cape. You know any others? He's laughing because I've been picking on him all morning because he didn't know one house from another. All right. Hey, it says, what's it say right there? Demonstrate your knowledge of real estate. Oh, well, how can you do that? You can talk about styles of houses. Good thing to talk about. You talked about it earlier, yeah. You know the house up the street just sold not long ago. But I think it was listed $400,000, about $365,000, $75,000. Did you know that? You can talk about knowledge of it. I would never be in this business and not be able to talk about the market and what's on the market, what's off the market, and so forth. Make small talk designed to plant seeds of doubt in the homeowner's mind. We got a whole bunch of those coming up in a little bit. I'll give you one, for example. Did you know that about 90% of the inventory of homes on the market are listed with real estate agents? Oh, what do you mean? Yeah, about 10% of them are FSBOs, about 90% of them are listed with agents. If we got 90% of the inventory, what else do you think we got 90% of?
Buyers.
Of the buyers, absolutely, positively. So if we got 90% of the buyers, it looks like you got less than 10% chance of selling your house on your own. Oh, damn. Why did I ever start to do this when I got less than 10% chance? All right? All right? And there's a thing you can show them. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Remember that, Sophie? A couple weeks ago. Didn't we show them? You brought it in. Remember? Newspaper. Get yourself a Sunday page ad of newspaper ads. All right? Take a yellow highlighter and highlight the FSBOs. About 10% of the page will be for sale by owners. Looks like 90% of this inventory here is controlled by real estate companies. If we control 90% of the inventory, what else do you think we control 90% of? The buyers. So, you know, really, realistically.
Tom,
yes, sir.
When we're giving a listing presentation, can we kind of throw that question?
Absolutely.
If we have 90%.
I wouldn't do it unless they've talked about FSBOs.
No, if you're going and they are for sale by owner.
If they are a first sale. Oh, sure.
Can you
sure.
say, if we have 90% of the inventory, what else do you think we have? Can we say it that way?
You can say it that way, but you know, I would say I would start it off with, you know, realistically, it's really hard to sell your house yourself. Let me tell you why. Ba-ding, 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 what you just said. Easy enough? All right, what else we're going to do? Probe the seller's motivation. Here are the probe questions. When, why, and where. Here's the probe questions. When, why, and where. When would you like to move? Why are you moving? Where are you thinking about going? When, why, and where. Easy enough?
Do we let them know that we're, if they're going to be somewhere around that area, that we're highly motivated to help them buy as well, right?
Man, all I want is the listings. I don't care about the buy. Guess what? All I want is a listing agreement with a signature on it, and then we'll talk about all that other stuff. I don't want to get beyond,
Beast.
Huh?
You're a beast.
Hey, all I want is the listings,
Thanks.
baby. You know, I worked with a woman one time that kept in the neighborhood of 60 active listings. Do you think she went to the beach a lot? Hell yeah. You think she went on a lot of trips? You think she went on a lot of trips? Because she knew how to do this. She knew how to do this right here. And here's the key. Right here's the key. You know what that looks like to me? Looks like a funnel. Guess what? The dollars come out here and the listings go in up here. Alright? If I got 50 listings and I can get 20 of them sold this year, hell, I'm going to do whatever I want to, because 20 sales is $200,000. Okay? But the key is, go get them. Go get them. Here's what a lot of people new in this business do. And some of you are new, and I'll tell you this right now. You sell a house, and I got a closing coming in 60 days. Oh, great. And you go out and blow $3,000 or $4,000. And the damn thing falls through, right? John knows what I'm talking about. You already done it, right, John? Already done it, so he knows what I'm talking about. All right, so here we go. At the bottom of page 6, probe the stage of Physicalism. Okay? You talk, but you're always trying to get these little things in there that discourages them. You're indirect. You're not walking in there and say, "What the hell are you doing? You can't sell your house yourself."
Oh, you're not
dummy?
that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I can sure go drip, 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 and encourage them not to sell their house themselves. All right, where are we going? Look at page 7. Let's look at a plan to incorporate all the above. Okay, common ground. We talked about that, didn't we? Demonstrate your knowledge. Show the homeowner that you know something about houses. Construction, Scott. Appliances. All that kind of stuff. Know something about houses. All right? I'm amazed at, I don't know anything about it anymore because I don't do it, but I'm amazed at kitchens now. Man, I'm walking some of these places that got new kitchens, and I could, if I were in the business, I could talk all day about the advantages of this stove over that stove and this fridge over that one. I'll give you a classic example. I got a refrigerator, and we've had it for 30 years because the space that it was built into, you can't buy one now without tearing something down. All right? And guess what? Here's the refrigerator, and here's the freezer. No, I'm sorry. Here's the freezer, and here's the refrigerator. And every time I get something out of the refrigerator, I say, damn, I'm going to buy a new refrigerator one of these days. Because I'm bending over, standing on my head to get something out of the refrigerator. Right? And guess what, man? They got ones that go side by side and up and down and pull out and all that stuff. Be able to talk about some of that stuff. Demonstrate a little knowledge. Demonstrate a little knowledge. I mean, you're supposed to be selling real estate, know something about real estate. Okay. Next thing says, anything you can do to impress the homeowner is a plus. Small talk. Remember we talked earlier when we were in here, you knew, you have been in here for a while, we talked STS. You know what STS is? Luce, you know what STS is? You don't because you haven't been here before. You know what STS is, honey? Remember that? No? Small talk smart. STS. Small talk smart. Okay? And I'll refer to it probably different times. I'll say, all right, give them a little STS. Give me a little STS. All right? Okay, here we go. Plant seeds of doubt with comments like, oh, gosh, you know, it can be really hard to sell your house on your own. Be really hard to sell your house on your own because most buyers work with realtors. And you don't have to say anything else, just as you're looking at the house. And gosh, good luck. It could be hard to do this. Just plant a little seed and drip, drip, all right? Okay, there's a FSBO counter page coming up. We're going to talk about a bunch of those. Probe their motivation. What did we say the motivational questions were?
Time.
No, what did we say? Yeah, that was one of them, but what did we say? 3 W's. When, why, and where. Absolutely. When, why, and where. Why do you want to move? When do you want to move? And where do you want to go? Probe the stage of FSBOism. Just how close the owner is to making a decision. This is, see, once you get in the house and you get in dialogue with him, it's not just he's a stage 2 or he's a stage 3. I'm starting to try to find out just how close is this son of a gun to do something, to doing something. Maybe I can close him today. If I have a listing agreement packet with me and all that stuff, and he's in late stage 3, you know, I might be able to just close him up today. Because guess what? She might have said this morning, I'm damn sick and tired of washing these dishes every day. All right? Or something like that. I mean, I'm so lucky I live with the queen of all of this housework. So I live with a nutritionist that's a retired home ec teacher. And if you can find a speck of dust in there, you're better than me. They don't exist. All right? All right. So, probe their motivation. Probe the stage of FSBOism. Same thing we keep talking over and over. Now, good question. If they're late stage 3, and they're really talking to you about doing something, see that next question? What's it say? Are you what? Find it. Find it. On page 7. Are you what?
Enjoying selling your home.
Are you enjoying selling your own home? And don't laugh when you say it. Are you? Because you know that they're about ready to do something. So, are you enjoying selling your own home?
That's a good one.
And if it's a pair, he'll look at her and say, they won't answer. Hey, you won't get the quick answer. Are you enjoying selling your own home? What are they going to do? He going to look at her, she going to look at him. He going to look at her, she going to look at him. Somebody's going to say, not really. Or, oh yeah, it's going very well. Okay. All right, and so if they say it's going well, you say, oh, you've got buyers? You've had buyers look at your house? They don't know. They didn't have an offer, so do they know whether they were a buyer or somebody ready to rob the place? They don't know. They don't know. Oh, you're enjoying it, so you must have buyers. Is that right? No, I don't think we're enjoying it too much. Because you don't know the stage of FSBOism. When you first visit the home, there's some props that you need to take with you. Oh, one of them down there says any FSBO assistance materials. We talked about that, didn't we? Sunday newspaper column, real estate ad section. We talked about that, didn't we? Got your measuring device with you, right? Got something to take pictures, right? Because guess what? You walk in there, you want to demonstrate some knowledge. Oh, nice master bedroom. God, what's this thing, about 16 by 18 or something like that? Looks back that with me. Yeah, well, let's just take a look. Boop. Oh, yeah. You're demonstrating some knowledge. Easy enough. Always take your measuring device with you. And don't take a tape measure anymore. Don't pull out a damn tape measure and ask them to hold. You ask them to hold one end of it. Listen, you ask them to hold one end of it and you hold the other and you're 20 feet away. Hey! Over there. All right? Don't take that stuff anymore. All right, measuring device. Let's go to page 8. Lockbox. Oh, hey, we're not listening to anybody. I don't want any real estate agents coming in here when I'm not here. Oh, bingo. Bingo. What's the answer here? What's the answer?
Would you like to show the house once I list it?
Huh?
So you would like to show the house when I list it?
You would like to show? Well, we don't want anybody in here if we're not here.
Great. So when I bring a buyer by, you would like to be here when they come?
So I always have to be here? If I could show you,
IU.
I think we're turning around. Yeah. Hey, guess what? What is a way to demonstrate that you know who's coming in the house? Lockbox. If I could show you, remember what we said a long time ago, show's always better than tell. Show's always better than tell. All right? The builder that just went out of the house, it's a friend of mine. He and I had this big discussion about that one time. And I said, all right, you met your wife in college, right? He said, yeah. I said, tell me what she looked like. And he went into this elaborate, or she had on this and she had on. Tell me the first word she said to you. See? It was a C. Show is always better than a tell. Always. So you take a lockbox with you. What's that going to do? You know, you have a big little lockbox in it. Easy. If I could show you that we actually know everybody that's coming into your house, would that take care of your problem about worrying about somebody coming into your house when we're not here? Easy enough? All right, what else to say? They're distrust of realtors. That's what we were just talking about. You know, guess what? They don't like realtors. Now, how many of you have a resume? How many of you have a resume? Several of you have a resume. I don't give a daggone what it's for. If you've ever, I'm seriously now, if you've ever done anything successfully in your life, put it in your resume. You know, I used to train horses. It's in my resume. I coached high school football for 27 years. It's in my resume. All right? Does that have anything to do with real estate? Nothing. Nothing at all. But did I do something? And was I successful at something? Yeah. If you've ever been successful at anything in your life, God, I hope all of you have, talk about it. Talk about it. I mean, if I want to talk about horses, I say, gosh, I've probably sold 300 or 400 horses in my life. Does that have anything to do with selling real estate? No. But man, I've done some selling. He wants to save the commission. Hey, what do you got to do with that? What do you got to do with that? He's going to save the commission. What are you going to do with that? What's it say right there? It says you must convince the homeowner that you can sell the home for more money than he can get for it, including the commission. Guess what? We control 90% of the inventory. We control 90% of the buyers. We get more for houses than for sale by owners do. Let me show you, blah, blah, blah. And then you show them. Last 6 houses that sold in this neighborhood were sold by realtors. The average sale price was $330,000. The last 2 FSBOs that sold in this neighborhood sold for $310,000. You got to show them though. Does that make sense? Tell if this doesn't make. I feel like I'm putting you to sleep a little bit, but if this one doesn't make sense, if it doesn't make sense, tell me. All right. You got to have a way to get around the commission question, and it goes with if we can get you more money. All right. Or if he's control of the home, you demonstrate the lockbox. If he does not trust realtors, you use testimonials. We just talked about all that. For the seller that truly believes that they might sell the home themselves, you got to show them that selling a home is a complex process. Most FSBOs get in it, and I'm going to put a sign on the lawn and ad in the paper, and this thing's somebody's going to come here and buy it next week and give me one of what I want for it. That's what they originally start out thinking. You got to show them that it ain't easy to do this. And that's the end of page 8. We're going to do about one more page of this thing here. Wherever I put it, whatever I did with it. Just a second. All right, look a little more of this. Then we're going to pray up just a little bit. Okay, look at page 9. We're going to start in this because we're really going to get into this next week. You see the big letters there? Ways to discourage a forced sale by owner. Woo-hoo. See that? See that? Wait, you got a copy of this thing?
I was going to ask, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
I don't have a copy neither.
I don't have a copy either. I gave them all away.
Why don't you two share this and I'll share with my buddy Genius over here.
All right.
You're so lovely.
You're a kind soul.
Page 9, guys. Thank you, dear. All right, here we go. Ways to discourage the forced sale by owner. Remember what we said? You're in the house, you're talking to them, and you got to use subtle little ways to discourage them from selling the thing themselves. All right? You got to discourage them from selling the thing themselves. All right. Well, one thing you can talk about is 4 kinds of buyers. This is stuff, you got to learn this stuff. You know, Mr. Fizbo, as real estate agents, we look at buyers in 4 different kinds of ways. There are 4 kinds of buyers out there. One kind is the serious and in a hurry buyer. They're the people, the transferees that come in here. Now, I'm a transferee and I'm coming in here and I got to buy a house this weekend. Where am I going? Where am I going? I'm going to ride around everywhere and look for Fizbos, right? No, I don't think so. If I got to buy a house this weekend, where am I going? Realtor! I ain't going to no damn open house. I got to get on a plane Sunday afternoon. All right? Sorry, Nicole. All right, first kind of buyer, serious and in a hurry. All right? What's the second kind of buyer? They're serious, but they're not always in a hurry. You know, I got to sell this house. I want to sell this house so we can buy another house. When it happens, it happens. So we got the serious in a hurry. We got the serious not in a hurry. What's the third kind of buyer? You got the bargain hunters. You see them every week at the open houses, right? The bargain hunters come out here. I'll buy a house if I can get a real bargain, right? Easy enough. And the fourth kind of buyers are the lookers. They look and they look and they look. I know people whose Sunday entertainment is going to open houses and looking at houses. They're never going to buy anything. So we got 4 kinds of buyers. We got serious and in a hurry. We got serious and not in a hurry. We got the bargain hunters. And we got the lookers. The first 2 kinds are going to a real estate agent. The last 2 kinds are coming to you, the Fizbo. So that right there ought to, damn, this might not be as easy as I thought it was. Right? 4 kinds of buyers. So you learn that one. Qualified buyers. Let me ask you this, Mr. Fizbo. How many qualified buyers have seen your house? Now, they had an open house and they've had people coming in. How many of those people came to see your house are qualified buyers? How many of them are qualified buyers?
They don't know.
They don't know. They don't know what they are. So how many qualified buyers have seen your house? I don't know. Right? Do you need a qualified buyer? I would think you'd need a qualified buyer, right? And then you say, well, at Culture Estates we qualify all the buyers before we show them homes. And if you don't do that, you're foolish. If you get in your car and ride around with somebody looking at houses and you don't know what they can afford to pay or whether they can afford to buy it all or not, you know, that's almost as dumb as not knowing anything about styles of houses. Right? Scott, I'm not going to let up, baby. But wait till next week. Hey, hey, Scott, next week, we're going to start. Scott's going to come up here and tell us about styles of houses. You got a homework. Imagine that at your age, you got a homework assignment. Okay. All right. How many qualified buyers have you had? Well, hey, they don't know. All right. Third one says comparison shopping. Oh, when you go out to buy something, do you usually compare it? If you're going out to buy shoes, do you compare one to the other? Sure you do. Well, anything you buy, you comparison. What do you have to show them to compare to your house? What do you have to show buyers to compare to your house? The answer is nothing. The answer is nothing. Easy? He doesn't have any other house for them to see. All right? Most buyers buy by comparison. Positive comments. Oh, this is a really good one. One sign of interest in a home the prospective buyer shows is how he or she comments on the home. You probably have had not too many positive comments about your home from potential buyers, have you? And you know what they think? They think, well, not really. And sometimes they, oh yeah, they like this, they like that, they like the other. So if they haven't had many comments, you talk to them like this. You know why they don't comment on your house?
They don't like it.
They don't like it. They could be interested in it, but they're still not going to comment on it, because when commenting on it makes you think that they're going to give you more money for it. Right? So you're going to get quiet, as I call them, quiet buyers. Okay? You're going to get quiet buyers. You won't be able to recognize them. You may have had 10 people come through here since you tried to sell it yourself, and all 10 of them came in and looked, and you thought they were interested because they were quiet, and they weren't. Or they may have been because they didn't say much, or if they did say much. If they did say much, they still might not have been interested. You don't know. 90%, this is show and tell. And that's the one we just did a while ago. 90% of the inventory is controlled by who? Realtors. If we got 90% of the inventory, we got 90% of the buyers. So can you see how you got less than 10% chance of selling it? All right? Now, let's go to the next one on page 11. And that's the page, that's this page. This, we'll stop at the end. We'll stop at the end of page 12. We're going to do this last little thing, and then we're going to quit for the day here. Let's look at price of property. Okay, I'm a bargain hunter. I'm a bargain hunter. Let's look at the price of property. $300,000. We want $300,000 for our house. Okay. Bargain hunter comes in. What's he think the asking price is? 6% less than that. So his asking price is $282. He says to you, he says in his mind that you might have it priced here, but you really want this. Right? Because you're going to save the commission. Right? Bargain hunter goes out and looks. He wants to buy a house because he's going to save the commission. And you're going to sell it this way because you're going to save the commission. And neither one of you can't save the same money. You can't save the same money. So, price of the property. Potential for sale by owner buyers do not look at the price of the property in the same manner as the owner of the property does. And that's the for example up there. They take the commission off the top. So if they're going to make an offer, and then they think, well, if I can get it for 10% less than this, what are they going to offer you? Take another $28,000 off of that, right? $264. God, we can't sell this house for $264, right? They're not thinking the same way you're thinking. You're thinking this number. They're thinking these numbers. Easy enough? And guess what? I just put that up on the wall. Why did I put it on the wall?
Show it.
To show it. Absolutely, positively. Not just to throw numbers out there, but to show it. The next one says, check you out. When a for sale by owner buyer comes to your house, they're there for two reasons. First, they want to look at the house. If they're interested in the house, then they probably check you out. They ask you reasons for selling. Well, gosh, why are y'all selling? Where are you going? They'll ask you the when, why, where questions. You know why? Because they're trying to look for any desperation. They're trying to look for any desperation. If they think you're desperate to sell and they want to make an offer, what kind of offer are they going to make? Low one. Absolutely, positively. So that's what we mean by check you out. All right, the next one. One sign, one ad. The internet. Okay, one sign, one ad. I know you're going to try to sell it yourself, and you're going to put out a sign. How many signs do you have? We got one. How many do real estate agents have? Hundreds, because they're all keyword interconnected. I may see the sign for this one. I make a call on that one. I get brought into the office, and we'll go out and buy something else. Realtors have got hundreds of signs, and they're all interconnected. You got one sign, and it's not connected to anything. Okay? Same way with an ad. You got one ad, we got hundreds of ads. You got the internet. Yeah, you got the internet site. All right, now they will tell you. Well, we've got a FSBO internet site. Oh, that's great. That's great. What's the answer to that? What's the answer to that?
Who sees that site?
Yeah, who sees? The bargain hunters see that site. That's who sees that site. The bargain hunters. Boom. Good one, right, John? Knock that one down, didn't we? All right, where are we going from there? Look at page 12, and we're going to wrap it up here. All right. Added expense. Okay, this is something that a lot of FSBOs never think of. There are added expenses to this. They got to advertise, they got to get a sign, they got to do this, they got to do that. And then guess what? If you got somebody who wants to buy your house, how are you going to sell it to them? How are you going to sell it to them? I'm going to get a attorney. Guess what? Attorneys charge a lot more to draw up contracts than they do to check ours.
Huh? Like that one.
Attorneys charge a lot more to draw up contracts than they do to check ours. So there's added expense involved in this thing. All right? Hidden cost. How valuable is the next one? How valuable is your time? Okay. I listed a house one time. I'll never forget this. I listed a house one time, talked about this very thing. She's going to do it on her own. And she told me, and I said, what are you going to do when nobody's here? She says, well, somebody's always here. I says, what, after school somebody's here and you don't get home till 6 o'clock or so? Yeah, I said, my girls can show it.
What?
That's about what she said. As soon as she said, my girls can show it, it's like a light bulb went off on her head, and 30 minutes later I had to listen. I didn't even have to say, you're going to let your 10-year-old daughter show a house to somebody you don't even know who it is? I didn't even have to say that. She figured that out all by herself real quick. So you talk about how valuable is your time. And this is where you really get to the wife. You can't go out this Saturday afternoon, honey, we got somebody coming to see the house. Ooh, man, women don't like that. Okay? All right? I mean, last night I had to go to the airport and pick somebody up. I got conned into it. Jesus, God. Yeah, you know, I can't cook. She said, you said you wanted, what the heck we ever had, some kind of chicken casserole. She said, you wanted that chicken casserole. Well, I can't cook it and ride to the airport at the same time. Oh, hell. All right? All right. How valuable is your time? Study that one. Study that one. And that's where we are going to stop for this day. It's a hard hour and 15 minutes. Okay, we're not going to role play, but guess what? Next week we're going to role play all of this stuff. All of this stuff. I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do next week. Listen up carefully. We're going to role play the FSBO meeting. Role play the FSBO meeting. That's all we're going to do. You want to do that? You got 15 more minutes? You want to do, huh?
Everyone else.
Everyone else got 15 more minutes?
No, don't worry. You can go, but if not, stick around.
Okay. All right. Well, let's study it. Let's study it and do it the correct way next week. We're going to role play it, pairs, knock, knock. Then we're going to role play it, pair, pick up the phone. All right? But between now and then, guess what? Between now and then, before you walk up here to do it, guess what? Where's the gut gauge going? Where's the gut gauge going? What do we say to begin with? Right now, you ones who know nothing about talking to FSBOs, your gut gauge talking to FSBO, you ride by one, there's one right up the street from me. I ride by it every day, blah, blah, blah. And I've been thinking I might go, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? You probably will now. I hope.
Well, I did speak to one of them, and his daughter is an agent.
Oh,
and
well.
He still has his for subway owners. So.
Wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, and he's working with his daughter.
I tried. I got him on the phone, and I told him,
Next. Hey,
houses down from you.
Your dialogue in your own mind for that is the same thing. Lewis and I talked about this one time. What's the most important word to the barber? Hey, Lewis? Next. Most important word. So, but anyway.
Actually, it's lunch.
Anyway, if you practice this by next week, when we pair up and have you stand up here in front of the group, we can go, the gut gauge will get up to here probably. All right? And if you practice it some more and you go out and do a few, it might get up to here. And you go out and you have some success with one, guess where your gut gauge goes? Right up to there. Right? Because if you get one successfully, then the rest of them Lim's not in here, but you think Lim has any problem walking up to the top and knocking on FSBO's door? No. What'd she tell us one day? She had a buyer, she was riding around, they were looking at houses. And so they saw a FSBO, and she took the buyer back to the office, and she went back and said, give me the listing for 3 hours or something like that, and I'll sell your house. Something like that.
She knew who it was going to be, but she was going to sell it to someone.
Yeah, she's going to sell someone that day. All right? So that's something else we're going to do next week. Okay. We're going to role play the FSBO meet and greet. And it better come out, and you're not going to walk up here with a piece of paper in your hand and cheat. You're going to walk up here with a business card in your hand and a name tag on, and you're going to talk like you know what you're talking about. And the first thing we're going to do when we get in the house the first time, what's the 3 things we're going to do?
3 W's.
No. You missed this part. Huh?
Build rapport.
Build rapport. What's the next one?
Motivation.
Check their motivation. What's the next one? Stage of Physicalism. That's what you're going to do the first time you're in there. If you think there's up to maybe stage 2.5 to 3, what kind of dialogue are you going to use? Ways to what? Come on. No. I'm not ready to do anything.
I missed a lot of this.
I know, you missed a lot of it. What am I going to do? You're about up to stage 3, so what am I going to do? I'm going to start planting seeds of doubt. Remember that? Gosh, it's not easy to sell your house on your own. 90% of the inventory is controlled by real estate agents. What do you think we control the rest of? 90% of the buyers. You got less than 10% chance of selling it. Oh. How many signs do you put out? Well, we got one. Oh, you got one sign? You got one ad probably, right? Good. Oh, yeah, but we got it on the internet. Okay, you know who looks on the internet? The bargain hunters. The bargain hunters.
Bargain hunters.
Yeah. One sign. We got one sign. You got one sign. We got hundreds of signs. All these real estate signs are connected. They call in on a house A over here. They might come into the office, meet with an agent, go out with an agent, and that'll sell house B over here somewhere. You can't do that. And that's another one. I bet you anything you buy by comparison. Isn't that right? Don't you go out and shop and buy by comparison? Oh, yeah, sure. Well, what are you going to show them to compare to your house? You got nothing. You got nothing. Boys, God, it's not easy selling your own house. And you plant seeds of doubt in their head with little small talk. STS, small talk smart. You plant seeds of doubt. And the only way you can do that is to study the daggone stuff. I used to role play a lot, and I've told a lot of people role play. I've told them role play in front of a mirror. Role play in front of a mirror. Because guess what? When you role play in front of a mirror, you're seeing what they see. You're seeing what they see. Make sense?
I think we should try that and bring a mirror in and have someone role play with themselves.
Huh?
We should try that.
Yeah.
Bring a mirror in.
Hey, hang a mirror. You ought to have a room that you got a mirror like so. I'll tell them go down there. Spend the No, I'm serious. Have a room, if you've got one of these rooms, or when you get the new place done, have a room in with a couple of mirrors on the wall. I want you to go in there and talk to them. Yeah. Go in there and talk to them. Easy enough? All right. Please, come back next week. Because we got a good group going here now, and we want to keep this up. Because I'm trying to help you to learn to make money. These two guys sitting here in a suit and tie and a name tag and going out on an appointment. And my God, 3 months ago, they didn't know crap. You know? I almost said something else, but but look at them now. I had 8 closings last month? He could afford a new suit and a new pair of shoes and everything. New tie, right? Everything. You see, but that's where it goes, people. It's all about learning and learning the dialogues and learning what to say and what not to say and so forth. And you can't say and like. Well, it's like hard like to sell like a house on your own. Yeah. Please eliminate the word like. All right? You learn anything today?
Absolutely.
Bring this handout with you next week, please.
Can we get an extra one, please?
Yeah, she can run them all for you, and wherever. Somebody got to get one of those blank ones somewhere, wherever they are. Maybe I got one here, Harry. Just a second.